What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. It's Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope I waited long enough for Subterranean to get his full song in. I'm not quite sure I did. I'll be honest with you. It's probably something I could have been tracking, but I did not. Okay. On this stream, we review army lists. So I'm going to go over I think 8 army lists. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Come on in. What's up, Joel? Hey, come on in, everybody. Howdy. Come on in. You can come on in the stream. If you're in here, liking is very cool. I don't want to do too many YouTube shills. I'll do a couple of YouTube shills, but they will be on. Can I get membership now and not change anything for this stream? Okay, so here's the thing. Every once in a while, I will do a stream where if we get X amount of super chats, whatever, I will grab 5 more lists and then put it in. That's okay. One True Dark Soul. We were actually waiting. Tristan, what we're doing today, our super chat goal, if you see, if we get 10 super chats, I will review 5 additional lists. And members can submit lists during the stream. So what you could do, Tristan, and I hate selling this, but if you became a member, that would actually count for 2 super chats. And then once we reach that goal, I would pull your list first. I would make sure that I pull 5 members first out of our post, and then we would go from there. Let me see if I can pull this up. I thought he only streamed on Wednesdays. Yeah, we did. It's a tiny bit of a pigeonhole, isn't it? But we're here. We're streaming whatever we want, honestly. I've been streaming on Thursdays, stream on Mondays. I think there's one time. All right, let's see if this is correct. Okay, so if we're here, right, here's our beautiful channel. Make sure that you hit subscribe. Go to posts. And it's the third one down. I'm going to delete both of these while we're here, so it's the top one. Boop. And then all you need to do is copy and paste into this comment section. All right. If you're a member, I pull it up first. Okay. But if not, the queue is actually getting like 22 comments. That's the lowest it's ever been. What I do is I do newest first. So these are all the new ones. And I look up here for members. And then I go all the way to the bottom. And then I pull from here. And then I go up. Okay. That's kind of how it works. Yeah. But, again, if we reach our super chat goal, I will pull a list from here, and I'll add them. We have 8 lists currently. So I will do 5 more if we reach that goal, and then we'll be cruising. I don't think that's the right one. Here we are. Okay. Awesome. Welcome. How about you guys? Oh, Kyle's painting a Swarm Lord and Biovore. Incredible. How about you guys? I will be honest with you guys. I have been hobbying a lot of Eldar. Look at this. It's a guardian that I'm about to kit bash into a fire dragon. So I'm hoping I will probably, hopefully next week, if not this week, but next week, I might be playing Eldar on stream. Zach might be playing my Tyranids, which is the first time that anyone has ever played my bugs besides me. I'm scared. Anyways, speaking of an army that is not Tyranid still, Ozolith has submitted a Votann army list. So I'm gonna take a look at it. Somebody's painting a Toxicant. Very cool. I will say I'm not super familiar on Votann, and also the Votann are going to change immediately. What do you guys think about the new army rule that they had released today? Well, let's take a look at what Ozolith says. He says, Votann did some research. This should be a good start. Definitely going to change because of the new models and army rule change. Yep. They have points kind of like Emperor's Children where you get benefits for how many you got. Yeah, probably. Okay, so let's take a look. Oathband. We have an Iron Hair champion. He's doing triple Iron Hair champion. That's probably, I think you probably want 1 I see like a solo Ein here. Ooh, Artist Opus brushes. Sylvanian, how much did those run you? We've got Hearthkin Warriors. I think the cool part about the Hearthkin Warriors is they split in a Sagittar. So you like put all the special weapons in one, and then you put all the others in like another Sagittar that you just run out there. 5 Berserks. 2 5-man Berserks. I think like a 10-man of Berserks. Oh, he's doing triple Berserks. Okay, I see. 5 Einhir Hearthguard. 5 Einhir Hearthguard. I also think you probably... I really like the 10-man Terminator brick. They're not Terminators, but they're Hearthguard. They've always been kind of scary when I play against them. 10 Jaegers. You have to have Jaegers. Jaegers are very, very good. They're really good infiltrating. The Artist Opus brushes were too much. Oh no, Sylvanian. I'm sorry, dude. They're very good. And they have like AP 3 or something on their daggers. 2 Harnkin Pioneers. Those are the bikes. And then 2 Land Forts. Triple Sagittar. Yeah, you know, I think this is like the standard list. I think maybe you've spent 1 or 2 many on the champions. Probably maybe go down a champion. Do you guys ever open up a contrast paint and just get attacked? Absolutely. That's why you open away from you, right? And really shake it up. No. So I would probably want at least 1 6-man bike. I think the bike units are like one of your most important units. And then I think if you play the Terminators, you put them in a 10-man. And then maybe that's why you have 3 of the Einhir champions. Maybe you have Tristan! Incredible. Awesome. So Tristan, if your list is submitted, before you do that, let me just triple check. What is your YouTube name? I hope I didn't pull it already. But if I didn't, then I will pull it first when we get to the extra list, if we get to that. But that's 2 super chats out of the way, so only 8 more. But anyways, yeah, I like a 10-man of these guys. And then you probably want to... How much are the bikes? 90. Sweet. But yeah, this is probably the strangest Tyranid list you'll ever see. Thanks again, Tristan, man. Appreciate it. It's the next one left in the post. Okay, perfect. So yeah, like if you cut one of the Einhir champions... Whoa, Nathan, 2. Man, we're killing it. That's 2 already. So we only need 6 more super chats, man. You guys are incredible. Thank you for the support. So like if you cut one of these, man, points are just so blocky. Yeah. I would find a way to get at least 1 6-man Pioneer or a 3rd Pioneer bike squad. I think that's the best way to do it. And then combine this Terminator, because they do a great job at just like rapid ingressing. I think one of the champions attached and then 1 not attached is a good way to go. I do agree with Marvel. Definitely need 1 or 2 squads of gargoyles. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. This seems like a very standard, and then you have the 2 hecatons. Seems like a very standard Votann list. I'd be interested to see what happens with them in the new codex. I wasn't in love with the rules that were spoiled today, but who knows? They're probably going to be really good. So we'll see. Now Ozlith, I promised him I would do both of his lists. This is it. We're back. Everybody can take a breath. We're back to familiar territory. We're in Tyranids. We're in Subterranean Assault. Awesome. And he says, "Hi Jordan, I know you're going to start collecting Votann." Yeah, I'm sorry. That was a misnomer. I am going to be doing Eldar. I think I did mislead people on the Votann thing. But I do know they're making a lot of changes, but was wondering if your Monday videos would be able to include Votann. Joel! Oh my gosh! Another member. Thank you. So if the 3 of you guys have lists posted already, once we get to, I don't know, what do we have, 2 more memberships or 4 more super chats, I will pull all 3 of your guys' lists and make sure that we review yours first. That would be amazing. We'll be able to include Votann as people to show and you look through kind of thing, or not. Yeah, I might be interested in doing some more factions. I think most of our subscriber base is Tyranids. But, you know, if somebody's submitting a list and we get to it, I'm not going to ever say no to that. I'm just going to be happy that people are hanging and I get to talk about Warhammer with you guys. Biomass is increasing. Thank you. All right, cool. Subterranean Assault. We've got Old One Eye, and I actually kind of really like Old One Eye and Subterranean Assault. I don't think he's like super incredible, but he's okay. You know. What's up, Primarch Lowen? Where do you post? You post on this. So if you go to our channel and then you go to posts, right? And then you look at the post that says, hey, everyone, this is where you should post lists. Boom. Hit the comments, copy and paste your list right there. And you should be G2G. Good question. Okay, cool. So Old One Eye. I do like Old One Eye. His unreliability is kind of mitigated because you reroll ones. Sometimes people are taking Carnifexes with him. It does look like Ozolith is taking Carnifexes with him. But oftentimes you don't really 100% need to take Carnifexes with him because he's really rolling ones. Just don't roll twos, right? And then, then you'll hit all the time. So it's good. All right, let's take a look. He's got Old One Eye, Swarmlord, Neuro Tyrant. Trigons and Trigon Prime on that Trigon. Gargoyles and Hormigons. I kind of like this split and Subterranean Assault. That's okay. Oh, Ozolith. We did review your Votann list. I think the only thing I said was like, if you can maybe trim one Einhir champion and get a third Pioneer somewhere, and then I would definitely combine the Hearthguard. I think a 10-man is better than 5-mans. For sure. But again, I'm not a Votann expert. Not sure I'm a Tyranid expert either, but, you know, here we are. Anyways, I like this split. I like one Gargoyle squad and then one Hormigant squad just to save you 20 points. The reroll ones for Hormigant's charging stuff is kind of cool. Also, if you're running a Psychophage, then the Hormigants get that much better. We have Biovore, Double Lictor, 5 Raveners, the big old Zone Throw package, Carnifex, Harspex, Norn Emissary, and a Tyrannifex. Of course, Ozolith. Chance asks, Jordan, do you like Harspex more than Screamer Killer and Subterranean Assault? I don't know, man. I would be, like, it's tough because Strength 10 is an okay breaking point. But the fact that, like, the Harspex being AP2 and on the big claws, but only having 4 attacks and then 14 attacks at AP1. AP1 just kind of stinks. I'm going to be honest with you. So I'm not sure about Harspex's. But let's take a look at Ozolith's list. I haven't tried out Screamer Killers. I probably should. See where they're at. Neat. Okay. So we do have the Norn. I've been back and forth on the Norn. I think the Norn on paper is very good. It rerolls ones. You know, it has multiple different profiles to deal with a whole bunch of things. I'm just worried that, like, 260 points, we can have almost 2 more Screamer Killers. That's probably what I'm going to try in my next game. Is I'm going to try 2 Screamer Killers instead of a Norn Emissary, and then see where that takes me. All right, so here's the thing, Ozolith. And I've been playing quite a bit of Subterranean Assault. I've been playing against quite a bit of really strong opponents. So I haven't always been winning, right? But the one thing that I do know is the list, it is almost mandatory for you to have 2 Raveners. I think you have to have 2 Raveners so that your Trigon Prime can come through a Ravener tunnel as opposed to the Raveners, or as opposed to the Trigon making a tunnel and then getting a 9-inch charge. And that's not quite what we want to do, if I'm being honest with you. Screamer Killer is pretty good. Distraction Carnifex. Sweet. Yeah. I think once Knights get nerfed a little bit, I'll be more excited to run a Screamer Killer. I'm looking at mine right now. He's all the way over there. But just the fact that it doesn't have an invulnerable save and can get snapped by a Melta or something could be tough. It just submitted a 3K list for review. Spicy. That sounds good. Yeah, we're only 4 super chats away or 2 more members away, and then we'll get that super chat goal going. Okay, so in my opinion, a couple of things. In my opinion, if you plan correctly, you should not need to use tremor senses. You really should not. I at first thought that was like a mandatory, you have to take this kind of enhancement, but after playing quite a bit of games with Subterranean Assault, if you plan around it, if you use your CP wisely, which you got Swarm Lord right here, you should be fine. So what I would do, what's up, Owen? Good to see you. Well, Nathan just submitted a 3K point list, so that's that's kind of crazy. I would take this 20 points. I would drop the Carnifex. Boop. And then I would add a second Ravener squad. And then you're 10 points over, and let's see what we can do with 10 points. I'm not sure we do too much with it, but yeah, I would try this. I think for Subterranean Assault, your package you want to have is 2 Raveners and the Trigon Prime. I don't think you really need anything more than that. You just ordered the Bio Titan and the new Tyranid Combat Patrol. Holy guacamole, dude! What a day. Another thing, I have been very disappointed with Zoanthropes. If you think about it, 305 points for the Neurotyrant and Zoanthrope package. If they bounce and they just get killed in one go, it's very, very tough. I'm going to admit something that I didn't think I was ever going to admit. I'm really enjoying Hive Guard. I like Hive Guard. I think I might be making a video on them soon. But I've played a couple games with them. They really actually haven't disappointed me, and I found a couple of things about them that I'll point out in the video that makes me kind of want to have Hive Guard over the Zoanthrope Brick. If you think about it, if you're not taking the Zoans, then in my opinion, you also don't really need to take the Neurotyrant, right? So that means you're 305 points. That means you could take Hive Guard, which 180 points, and then you could also take another Haruspex. I know. Everybody in chat is in shambles. They're shocked. Am I okay? Yes. I'm going to come back next week and I'm going to be like, Hive Guard are terrible. Take them out of your list. I don't know. But like, if you think about it, like you could take Hive Guard and you could take another Haruspex. In this list, you could take Hive Guard, and since we have 10 points left over, you could also drop this Haruspex and get another Norn Emissary. Seems cool. But Ozolith, yeah, I think your Subterranean Assault list is pretty it's pretty good. You know, I would just highly, highly, highly recommend getting room for the second Ravener squad. And did I probably accidentally deleted the Norn. No, it's just right there. Boom. Yeah. Good stuff. I played one game with the Rupture Cannon Tyrant effects. I don't know yet. But I definitely like Hive Guard over Zoanthropes for right now. We'll see. Moving right along. You go against my dad who does Astra Militarium and hate his artillery. Oh, is your dad just indirecting your Neurotyrant every single game? He got almost a full artillery list. Man. So here's the thing, Ozolith. Hive Guard will not die to artillery like that. They're T7. They're 4 wounds. 3 save. I don't know, man. I would just play... It might feel weird play a couple games with Subterranean Assault without the Neurotyrant. See what it feels like. Oh yeah, him indirecting Barry the Biovore is kind of sad. I will agree. There's not much we can do about that. I'll be honest with you. That is kind of spooky. But yeah, thanks again for submitting your list, Ozolith, and all the support, dude. Nadav Bar. This is a long-time viewer of the channel, I believe. Yeah, it is a goated Biovore name. I should do like. We should do a thing where the community gets to name my hive fleet or something. I have never named my hive fleet, or like specific units in my hive fleet. We'll see. Not a bar. I feel like I don't know. Anyways, hey Jordan, just worked on this new list and would love to hear what you think about it before I commit to these changes. Still haven't played it, but got really pushed by some friends to add a Norn. I'm open to any changes. And we're at 1970 points, so we're going to be looking for 30 points, see what we can add to this to help round it out. We have a Broodlord with perfectly adapted, Hive Tyrant with adapted biology, and then a Neurotyrant with alien cunning. So here's what I always do. Before we dive into the list, if I'm at like a weird number like 1970, where like my only option is to add a Ripper, I'm going to always take a second look at my enhancements and see if they're really worth it. Like, is perfectly adapted doing what I want it to? Is alien cunning doing what I want it to? Now, if this list is like, if it's got like Von Ryan's Leapers and we want a whole lot of forward infiltrating pressure, then maybe alien cunning is worth it. However, if it's not, I mean, we could take out alien cunning. We have 60 points, and then we can turn that the 30 points that we had left over into 60, and then grab ourselves another Lictor. But let's look at the rest of the list. We've got Gargoyles, Hormagaunts. This is fine. This is good. I enjoy it. We got Barry the Biovore, Double Exocrine, Gene Stealers, Lictor, Norn Emissary, Psychophage, Rupture. That's it. Sweet. Yeah, okay. So there's two different options that I would be excited about. This is a very similar list to what I was running at ATC. So I mean, you could take the 60 points that we talked about. I think we definitely cut alien cunning. I'm not really sure. It doesn't seem like an obvious game plan. So we have 60 points left over. We either upgrade the Psychophage to a Maleceptor, or we grab a third Lictor. Either way, I think it's fine. I think both of those options are good. I'm okay on double Exocrine right now. There's a couple of different schools of thought. With Death Guard going around, Exocrines really do not have a great time activating into the Death Shroud Terminators because they're 4 wounds, so you have to have 2 shots of Exocrine go through to kill 1 Death Shroud Terminator. However, with Knights and Armigers running around, toughness 9 on the Armigers, you could just, I don't know, there's a non-zero chance that an Exocrine brackets an Armiger, which is kind of really what you want to do in 1 activation, take their OC down. Yes, Ozolith. A 6-man with the shock cannons. But either when you are activating them, make sure you are bringing them from reserve and do what is like enfilading emergence, so you get sustained hits and ignore cover. Because the AP1, you got to stretch that AP1 as far as you can go, for sure. Anyways. So there's like 2 arguments for 2 Exocrines or 3 Exocrines if you're playing Invasion. I don't know. So I think this list is fine. I think all you do is drop Alien Cunning and you change this Psychophage into a Maleceptor or get yourself a third Lictor. I have never been like, man, this list has too many Lictors in it. I have never had that thought. But the Psychophage is kind of interesting, like AP3 on Gene Stealers. That's pretty good. AP3 on a Norn in combat. Seems good. I probably would be leaning towards the Maleceptor, just because I think he hangs out with the Norn Emissary pretty good. So let's do that. That's really my only note on this. I think it's a very standard... oh gosh. I butchered. That's my only note on this. Like, it seems like a pretty good invasion fleet list. And Norns are good. I might end up being wrong that Norns are actually bad, but we'll see. Moving right along. Yeah, and you do need the sustained hits and ignores cover strat. Yep. High Fleet Locust. Rate my list. Working on my list building. Want to see what the Hive Mind thinks of it. I wanted to try and stay away from running triple Lictor, like always. So I'm bringing... That's really funny that I just said... I've never played a list where I was like, I have too many Lictors. And this guy's like, I have too many Lictors. So I'm bringing a Mortrex and Neurolictor. Interesting. Also for funsies, I'm planning on possible turn 1 or turn 2 drop of a Screamer Killer out of the Tyranid for a Distraction Carnifex. Plan on having the 40 Gaunts, Turvagon Flood. Midboard, should I change anything this list? Maybe more Gaunts. Well, I'm not a huge fan of the Gaunts right now. I know, like, some people have had good success with, like, 20 Hormagaunts in a squad for Invasion Fleet. There might be something there. That could be kind of cool. But Termagants, I'm not super in love with. Let's take a look. We've got Broodlord, Neurotyrant, Parasite of Mortrex, Turvagon with the Adaptive Biology. Okay, and then we have 40 Termagants, nice, and 10 Hormagaunts. Biovore, 10 Gene Stealers, Lictor, 1 Neurolictor, Von Ryans, Zoanthropes. Okay, just a 3-man Zoanthrope, okay. Then we have Excrant, Screamer Killer, Tyrannifex, and then the Tyrannicide. I will be honest with you. I think if you just stage appropriately with the Screamer Killer, if you just advance him up and make sure he's behind cover, and let him activate after that, and then just go like that, or keep him as a rapid ingress threat, I think he's just going to be able to do his job even without the Tyrannicide. So this might be sad, but I definitely think the big overarching thing in this list that I would do is delete the Tyrannicide and then just make this Zoanthrope brick a 6-man. Because I think it's I think Zoanthropes are a fine unit. I really don't think they're efficient enough to just have one. Like a 3-man. I don't think that definitely does it. I don't think it does it enough. And I will say, make one more change to make sure that we're leaning into that semi-horde style with 40 Termagants. I think you got to cut these Von Ryans for Venomthropes. Like, -1 to hit and cover is pretty needed when you're playing hordes. So I would take a look at that. But otherwise, I mean, it seems like a pretty good standard list. You know, I think you do have 5 points left over after the Tyrannicide. If you end up not liking the Screamer Killer, changing that into an Excrant might be a good idea. Or getting 20 more Termagants. Who knows? But yeah, let me know. Let me know how it's working for you. High Fleet Locust. Yeah, how's the Turvagon been? That's a very cool model. I like my Turvagon. It used to be right behind me. I don't know. My hobby space is a mess recently. I gotta tidy up. Anyways, cool. Moving on. Yeah, I don't hate the Parasite and Mortrex. If you can rapid ingress it, so it like takes a objective, that's what I like. That's what I like to do. Seems pretty good. Sylvanian, are you still here? Are you in chat? We are about to review your list. While we do this, let's hang out with our sponsor just real quick, Secondhand Geek. Look, I've pulled up their Tyranids already. Oh, hold up. If you haven't checked out Secondhand Geek's stuff, you actually probably might be surprised. They've got a pretty good batch of non-Tyranid stuff, but honestly, a lot of the stuff that they're selling right now is Tyranids. Sylvanian is here. 20 Termagants? Dude. 20 Termagants for $40? They look like they're base coated. It's almost like a Leviathan. You probably just put a shade in and then you're done, right? Death Leaper. Whoa! Battle ready gargoyles. That could be interesting. I don't know. There's some cool stuff. You can get a Malanthrope. Chat, do you guys have a Malanthrope? I have a Kit Bash Malanthrope. That's pretty cool. A Biovore. Anyways, moving on. Sorry. Just check out, every once in a while, check out Secondhand Geek, because you might be surprised with the stuff that you find on there. It's some good stuff. Sylvanian. Here we are. Hey, Jordan. Taking my first shot at making a 1.5k sub-assault list. Would love your eyes in it to see what you think and how to expand this to 2k. Thanks for doing all you do for the community. Hey, thank you, community, for being super cool. Appreciate it. All right, so Subterranean Assault. What is a Malanthrope? Sorry, folks. We're going to have to go back here. All right, check it out. This is a Malanthrope. This guy in the center right there, that's a Malanthrope. It's currently for sale on Secondhand Geek. You could buy this without even knowing what it is. I'm not sure I recommend that. But it used to be like this Forge World thing that would give like it's basically like a ginormous Venomthrope. And somebody's selling it for $70, $77. Cool. Yeah. If you sign up for Secondhand Geek, check out our affiliate link. That would be sweet. But otherwise, just take a look at all the cool stuff that's on there. All right. That's a Malanthrope. It's Legends right now, Elite Pug. So there's not like competitive rules for it. So, but anyways, Subterranean Assault. We've got Death Leaper, Broodlord, Hyper Adapted Raveners, and they have Vanguard Intellect. Okay. Nerd Tyrant with Tremor Senses, Parasite, Winged Hive Tyrant, Trigon with Trigon Prime. Okay, sweet. There are a lot of characters. I think we are probably going to cut one or two. I don't know. We'll take a look. Biowar, Gene Stealers, Lictor, 3 Zoanthropes, and a Tyrannifex with Rupture Cannon. All right. So, like, my idea, I'm going to go face cam. My idea for Subterranean Assault, and kind of how I've started shifting how I build about it, is I want to think about the units that my opponents would be annoyed the most about them coming out and doing a 6-inch charge. Like, what units in our codex are the most inconvenient for my opponent to have in the front lines, like, way quicker than they should. And a couple of units jump out to me, like a Malceptor, Norn Emissary, just like big units like that. And then the rest of the list, or the rest of the units, are going to be units that kind of make use of the reroll ones thing, and then going from that. I actually do think that Gene Stealers, I haven't tried them in the 10-man brick yet. And Subterranean Assault, they could be good. Because, you know, a 10-man squad of Gene Stealers popping out of a hole and doing a 6-inch charge seems kind of gross. I would agree. However, in my opinion also, is you want these bricks to be as efficient as possible. So you have 10-man Gene Stealers and a Broodlord that's 230 points. If they fail their charges, yeah, Bird Dog, I will poll yours. Is it the same as your screen name? I hope so. I will poll yours. If not, I will get you first next week, and we'll make that happen. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. 230 points. If you fail your 6-inch charge, they probably get picked up, and then it's really kind of sad. This is 1,500 points. And I also feel like at 1,500 points, we want to make the best use of all of our points as possible, right? So let's take a look. Do we have any Lictors? We have 1 Lictor. Okay, probably want a second Lictor. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say we're going to drop the Parasite. I love the Parasite. I think the Parasite's cool. I don't always think that it is competitive. Just not quite right now. I think it kind of needs a rework. So we're going to get a second Lictor. And we're going to have 20 points left over. Moving right along. Another thing, like a 3-man Zoanthrope, we really want to make use of those Zoanthropes, or we want to not have them. You know? I just think they're quite expensive right now. So again, I know this might be a scary proposition, folks. But try running your list without the Brain Council. Try running your list without the Neurotyrant, without the Zoanthropes. So we had 20 points left over. So this is going to be Dark Soul. Amazing. I think that's 4 memberships. Okay, so we only need 1 more membership or 2 more super chats. And then we will, I appreciate the support, man. And then we will pull 5 more lists at the end of stream. So this is going to be 125, 100, 225, 245 points. So if you don't have like all of this in your collection, you know, I don't think that your list was bad before. I'm just trying to encourage people to maybe not automatically slamming the Zoanthropes in. I was somebody who thought the Zoanthropes were really, really good. I'm not super excited about their points cost and how like resource needed they are. And they are very, very fragile as well. Sylvanian, if you have Hive Guard, I would try Hive Guard. We got Double Lictor, Gene Stealers. It's like 230 points. 245. Whoa, Primarch! Thanks, man. Okay, we're chilling. We are ready to go. If you guys joined during the stream and you haven't posted a list, consider posting a list now. And then if that's still in there when I go to look, I'll pull you guys' list first, and it'll be great. So we will do 5 more lists at the end of this. That sounds great. Yeah, so I would try. Let's try putting Hive Guard in here. If you don't have Hive Guard readily available, you know, try something else. But I think Hive Guard are actually pretty good. I think they are worth the include. So that'd be 65 points left over. We could do like another Hormigaunt squad. Dragon Prime. Oh yeah, the Hyperdaptives. I haven't been. Do we have how many Raveners do we have in here? Oh, we don't have Raveners. Okay, cool. We gotta have Raveners. I think we gotta have 2 Raveners. Yeah, I mean, you could take out the Neurotyrant Zoan combo and replace them all with 12 Rippers. You could do that. Okay, so we gotta have Raveners. What did I just add? So we were at 245. Okay. So before Hive Guard, we're at 245. We're gonna have to do 2 Ravener squads. Which, like, I say have to do, but like in Subterranean Assault, they kind of do everything for you. They're just kind of good, and we're at -5 points, but we're gonna get rid of that enhancement up there, and then we should be good. So we're gonna get rid of Vanguard Intellect. So the reason why I don't like Vanguard Intellect is you can't go through the tunnel. Games Workshop has like doubled down on this. You can't use the tunnel to get a 6-inch charge off of Vanguard Intellect. I don't know. It seems kind of, what's the point? But like it then becomes a place where like it's really actually hard to make Vanguard Intellect work. So 10 points left over. I would probably go away from the Gene Stealers and get like, you could get almost 2, you could get like a Screamer Killer, 135, and then you have 95 points left over. I don't know. Try the Gene Stealers. I've seen a couple of people try Gene Stealers out. Let me know how they work. Because I'm interested in hearing what they do. But I am probably leaning on the fence of no Gene Stealers. Also, if there's a place where we can upgrade the Winged Hive Tyrant to a Swarm Lord. I think Swarm Lord is almost like mandatory in this. He's very, very good. Alright, so if we cut Winged Hive Tyrant, check it out. We cut Death Leaper. That's 250 points. We put Swarm Lord in. I think he does need to be your Warlord for the Vect. That means we got 30 points left over, so we have 40 points. We're cooking, chat. And then 230, 270 points. All right, so I love my Gene Stealers. I run, yep. Yeah, and all of those are not doing much. Okay, I see. So if you cut the Gene Stealers, check it out. And you have 40 points left over. That's 270 points. Dude, if you have 2 Screamers and you just try 2 Screamers. Now, I have not tried Screamer Killers. But they could be cool, you know? Try them out. Yeah, so from top to bottom, we have Hyper-Adaptive, Raveners, Swarmlord, Trigon, Hormagaunts, Biovore, Lictor, Ravener, Screamer, Tyranifex. Alex! Whoa! Nick's got a membership. Let's go, Alex. Dude, you got it, man. Alex, I don't even know if you're aware of this channel lore, but Nick's likes not being a member, and you sniped him. Fantastic work. We got him. But yeah, Sylvanian, this is a pretty neat list. Something like this. Be careful with your Rupture Cannon. I think the next thing for 2,000 points is I would consider adding Hive Guard. Adding Gargoyles at least to have a... Aw, thanks, Alex. To have like a screening effect so you can control the board a little bit more. But yeah, I need to try Screamer Killers. I'm going to try Screamer Killers next time I play Subterranean Assault. Moving right along. I think we got 3 more lists. Yeah, we got 3 more lists, and then we got 5 more lists to pull. So we're going to pick it up. We got it. You guys have been great today. This has been a really good energy in the stream. I appreciate it, for sure. We got Spikle Michael, 1. Hi, Jordan. Long-time listener, first-time poster. I also have a great hairline. Hell yeah, dude. Invasion Fleet. We've got Broodlord with Perfectly Adapted, Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology, a Neurotyrant. Double Gargoyles, Biovore, double Exocrine. I feel like I've seen this list. Gene Stealers, Lictor, Maleceptor, oh, never mind. Double Maleceptor. Norn Emissary, Tyranifex. That is it. So 1 Rupture Cannon. Nix. He comes forth. Alex G sniped you, dude. You got, man. Oh, gosh. That's funny, dude. All right. Okay, so the only thing that I would say is I want this list to have 2 Rupture Cannons. Right? Okay, Elite. Sweet. So here's what I would do. We're going to convert these Von Ryans to a Lictor, and that's going to give us 10 points left over. And then we are going to convert one of these Gargoyles. I know, chat. I'm deleting Gargoyles. To Hormagaunts, which is 65 points. And then we should have 30 points left over. Beep. And then we just convert like this Maleceptor here into a second Tyranifex. And then I feel happier about that. Kind of use your Tyranifexes. If you're playing your Norn early, I wouldn't too much. Also, folks. Okay, see you later, Nix. Also, folks, don't choose the Norn as the middle objective. That's probably don't Don't say the middle objective is my home, unless you're running multiple Norns. It's either always your expansion, your closest one, or it's almost always that. Rare cases, it's your opponent's expansion if you're playing Subterranean Assault, so you can jump on it and make them dedicate a whole bunch of stuff to it. But yeah, I would try and use these Tyranifexes as counterpunches. If they try to commit a lot of stuff to your Norn or your Maleceptor, have the Tyranifexes come out and get them. But yeah, this is a good list. Cool. Zooming right along. We've got Blade. TDS. Thank you for submitting a list, man. Appreciate it. Updated version since initial draft. Oh, right. Yeah, he posted it, and this was in the comments or the replies. Why not the middle? So here's the thing. If you think about it, your expansion objective, your opponent is going to be able to commit. I'm just going to spew out numbers. Let's say in a normal game, you're not playing a particularly incredibly fast army or whatever. Let's say your opponent can commit 30% of their army to your expansion. That's the one that's furthest away from their main meat of their army, okay? If you put the Norn on their expansion, they're probably going to be able to commit like 70% of their army or whatever onto that expansion, just because that's closest to them, and they can just push right there. They can react very easily to there. In the middle of objective of the table, there's a pretty good chance that they are going to be able to commit 100% of all of their damage units to killing your Norn right there. So you put 260 points, you like, hey, I bet you can't kill this Norn, and it's in the center of the table where everything can shoot at it and look at it, and then your opponent's like, all right, sweet, and they kill it. You know, that has happened to me quite a bit, and they do melt if you can't roll 4-up invulnerable saves. So the play pattern I like is you put it on your expansion, and you say, hey, I'm just telling you that I want this objective for the entire game. And your opponent oftentimes is just going to be like, dang it. Okay, I'm just going to ignore the Norn. And then your Norn gets you like easy 20 points for the entire game because they don't really want to commit to killing it. And then your Norn, in almost every single Games Workshop map, can still shoot and activate into stuff on the side of the board, or shoot its Melta, shoot its Blast into the center of the objective without very much committing to that center objective. So put them on expansion. Try it out, you know? Okay. I could be wrong, but that play style has been working for me way more than center objective. Here's Blade. A very, very cool list title. Subterranean Assault. We have Death Leaper. Interesting. Hyper-Adaptive Raveners, Neurotyrant, Winged Hive Tyrant, and Trigon Prime. Death Leaper is interesting. That's kind of cool. No battle line. Of course, Parker. Biovore. Double Lictor and a Neurolictor. Okay, so maybe that is making a little bit more sense with Death Leaper. I don't think Death Leaper is a bad unit. In fact, I like Lictors of all kind in Subterranean Assault because they just hit all of their hits. It's like good, you know? Lictor, Neurolictor, Raveners, double Raveners, Zone Throat, and then we have a Moloch, a Norn Emissary, and then a Rupture Cannon Tyranifex. Cool. This is a neat list. So we do have the Hyper Adaptives with Vanguard Intellect. So like I'm on the fence with Hyper Adaptives. I think you, in one vein, you kind of want them because they're good into knights. Like I will say, it's a non-zero chance that Hyper Adaptive Brick just one taps a big knight, and that is a huge swing. However, there's also non-zero chance that they don't one tap the knight, and then you put almost 400 points into a unit, and it doesn't do too much, and then the knight pretty much kills them for sure. Zone Throats have been wishy-washy for me. I don't think they're bad. I am not convinced on the Moloch, though. I think we probably could. And I think the Winged Hive Tyrant is okay, but I am much, much more favoring Swarm Lord as opposed. So I think definitely we want to get rid of Vanguard Intellect. It might have been like one of those things where we just had 15 points left over. Maybe there's a play style that I'm not wary of. But I think there's probably a pretty good chance that we're going to spend our points better elsewhere. So we have 15 points left over. And then we can swap out the Moloch for something if we wanted to do that. We do have quite a bit of lictors. Like we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Like in this case, I would probably either drop Death Leaper. Well, let's first think about like what are we trying to get, right? I think we want some kind of melee threat. Or we want to upgrade the Winged Hive Tyrant to Swarm Lord. So if we do that, that's 50 points. So that means we need 35 points. 35 points. And then we just upgrade this to Swarm Lord. I really, really like Swarm Lord. I'm going to do a video as to why I like Swarm Lord so much. And Subterranean Assault. But his ability to give you CP, no matter where he is on the board, I think is incredibly valuable. As opposed to really trying to plan around the Winged Hive Tyrant. It's a little bit more difficult, in my opinion. But I really don't think that... Oh, actually, hold up. 35 points, or at negative 35 points, right? If we drop Death Leaper, then we got 45 points. Boom. There's like, honestly, this is another unit that I have been kind of poo-pooing on a little bit. But like, Neurogaunts, they're 45 points. I'll be honest with you, a lot of times in Subterranean Assault, if like my Raveners are opening up tunnels and stuff and the Raveners are not able to screen for me, I need Neurogaunts to do it for me, or like a screening unit in the back, like Hormogaunts or something. So just having a Neurogaunts back there might be a pretty good thing to do. That would be our 45 points. Do we only have one squad of Raveners? No, we have 2. Okay, great. Yeah, Blade, thank you for submitting the list. This seems pretty cool. Let me know how the Moloch has been. I think this Moloch could be changed out for another melee threat, maybe like a Screamer Killer or Harspex. I personally haven't tried the Screamer Killer too much, but you could also finagle 5 points. Maybe you decide you don't want the Neurogaunts, maybe just like a stupid Pyrovore or something is good, and then upgrade this to Old One Eye. That might be cool. But I'm not sure the mortals are worth it for the Moloch, you know? Anyways, thank you again for submitting your list, man. I hope your games have been good. Moving right along, this is our last list. People who donated memberships to have their list reviewed, if you could please, while I finish this up, if you could please chat what your name is. Just make sure it's matching with your live list or with your live stream username, just so I make sure that I'm pulling the correct ones. Okay? All right, here's Nolcade. Hi, Jordan. Thank you for your time and sage advice to all of us. Found you over the past couple months and really enjoy all of your videos and gameplay combat reports as you pilot the Tyranid swarms. Brand new Tyranid and Warhammer 10th edition player here. Awesome. Have 2 friends who I plan to play with. One has 1,000 Suns. Very spooky. The other has Astra Militarum. We want to do 1,000-point games, some one-on-one or some 3-army free-for-all. I've included a list below. I'd like to play in Crusher, Stampede, or Invasion Fleet, but open to any and all ideas from you both in terms of composition and tactics. As I take on these 2 other armies, I've also included a total list of the units I have available to me below. Thank you again for your entertainment and fantastic strategy. Perfect. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jack. Yeah, that's a good observation, man. I I appreciate that. Okay, cool. We've got So this is Invasion Fleet or Crusher Stampede. Swarmlord, Neurotyrant with Adaptive Biology. Seems okay, but we'll see. Old Wide, Kickback Screamer Killer. Yeah, that is something that I definitely missed the mark with. I wish I had another Screamer Killer. I'm sure I could find like a 3D print of a cool Old One Eye or something. Battle Lines, Termagants. Okay, so first thing that jumps out is we're going to need a Biovore, for sure. But we've got Von Ryan's, Carnifex, Maleceptor. All right, this is the rest of his units in collection total. So this is not in addition, this is just what he has. If you can't, Nathan, okay, awesome. Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate it. If you're like absolutely not able to get a Biovore, I think Barbgaunts aren't. Not Barbgaunts. Neurogaunts, specifically to just screen your backfield, could be something good. But yeah. Okay, so Crusher Stampede or Invasion Fleet, and this is 1,000 points. All right, so I'm gonna do my best to just make a list out of what you got here, and then I'll give some suggestions. So 1,000 points. We do have the Maleceptor here. We do have a Carnifex here. Boop, boop. I would cut the Termagants. I don't really think they're going to be doing anything for you. And then put in your Neurogons. And you're going to have, 15 points left over. Beep. And in this case, since we're probably going Invasion Fleet, we want to cut Adaptive Biology. I think it is an interesting thing to have, but in 1,000 points, if we're really, really crunching for points, maybe we can add it back in later, but who knows. 40 points. Ooh, that was a voice crack. We could do, like, dropping the... That would get us to 155 points. 175 points. I was thinking, like, what if we did both Winged Hive Tyrant and Swarmlord? That'd be kind of sick, wouldn't it? And just do Crusher Stampede and, like, really, really... Okay. So we have 2 Carnifexes. Alright. Okay, alright, let's go full send. Crusher Stampede. Alright, chat, we're getting rid of the Neurotyrant. Boom. We don't need a Neurotyrant, Crusher Stampede. Imagine playing Crusher Stampede at 1,000 points. That sounds, to me, that sounds like a great time. I would love that. We have 145 points. We're going to cut one of these Von Ryans to bring that up to 175 points. We'll have 30 points. No, we'll have 40 points left over, I think. And then we're going to add a Winged Hive Tyrant. Winged Hive Tyrant. Do we do that? We have 40 points. Yeah, it sounds like a good time, man. And then we could also do... 1K Crusher would be sweet. Trying to find points for like the last 110. Oh, okay, yeah. So like we're just going full business. I'm not sure this is good, but this would be sweet. And then the last 110 points after we cut those Von Ryans, we make a Psychophage. Seems cool. Seems fun. And 1,000 points. And it seems like you're building up your collection. I think it's all about like having fun, kind of learning the games. Learn what works, learn what doesn't work. You're going to have a bunch of CP. Yeah. Okay. Everybody, I am going to go to the Be Right Back screen. I'm going to pull 5 more lists, and we're going to go through them. Thank you so much for your support today. Really appreciate all the memberships. You guys killed it today with memberships, like 6 or 7 memberships or something. Very cool. Love all the support. I'll be back in about like 5 minutes or so, and we'll get this ball rolling. Thanks again. See you soon. didn't scare you. All right, I got 5 more. There are 2 more members in the queue. I'm sorry. I'm a tiny bit of a, yeah, I'm not, I wouldn't say a time crunch, but I'm going to do 5 right here. So there were 7 of you. That was awesome. Thank you so much. You guys will be the first next week. I apologize. But yeah, let's dive right into it. Again, thank you all so much for the support. First up is Bird Dog. I think this was Tristan in chat. He says, thanks, Jordan, for all your insight and your time. I know there's no gargoyles here, but I'm torn between 3 Gaunts and a Death Leaper versus 2 Gaunts, 1 Gargoyles, and second Lictor. Let's take a look. Invasion Fleet, we got Death Leaper, Broodlord, Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology, Neuro Tyrant, 1, 2, 3 Hormigaunt Squads, very good. Biovore, Gene Stealers, a Lictor, Neurolictor, Exo Haruspex, Maleceptor, T-Fex. Okay, cool. So what do you see? But I'm between 3 Gaunts and a Death Leaper versus 2 Gaunts, 1. I think I like this. I think I like 2 Gaunts, 1 Gargoyle, and a second Lictor. Right? Because deep striking the gargoyles and then shooting and scooting onto an objective is one of my favorite things to do in the world. So I would do that. So just make this a second Lictor. Also, how's the Neurolictor been for you? I would almost probably do Death Leaper before. 5 points on the gargoyles. But I don't know. I mean, if the Neurolictor's been working pretty well for you, seems, you know. And then the rest of the list does not seem bad at all. Top to bottom, Broodlord, Hive Tyrant with Adaptive Biology, Neuro Tyrant, Hormagaunts, and then Gargoyles. So we do have 3. Please do not send me the bill, Owen. We would both be disappointed. Gene Stealers, Lictor, Neurolictor, Exocrine, Haruspex. Now, here's the thing. I'm not sold on the Haruspex. So my gut would say, I mean, it is an invasion fleet, so it does have a crap ton of attacks. So I would try 2 things. I do really like the double Rupture Cannon Maleceptor combo. That does seem pretty sweet. You could like drop this Neurolictor for a 3rd Lictor and then upgrade this to an Exocrine. Or you could drop this Neurolictor for a Von Ryan's Leapers to do some screening, and then change this Haruspex into a Screamer Killer. I think both of those options are pretty good. I think if you're doing a Screamer Killer or a Haruspex, you want to Rapid Ingress it, right? I don't think there's enough staging points for a Haruspex. It is actually, I think a Haruspex is much bigger and harder to hide than a Screamer Killer, because the Screamer Killer has that round base. You can fit it somewhere. But the Haruspex might stick out a little bit, so it could be tough. But yeah, definitely try out the Haruspex first. I think there is some warrant there because of like exploding 5s, getting a whole bunch of lethals, getting a whole bunch of sustain, etc. But yeah, I would definitely do your second option, 2 Gaunts, 1 Gargoyle, and a second Lictor. Just because like the deep strike, shoot something, scoot, move block, or snag an objective. Chef's kiss. Love it. Thank you again so much for becoming a member. Our support is incredible. But yeah, I would think about that. Everything else seems really, really good. Maybe try and fit a 3rd Exocrine, but seems good. Jaldrin. I think Jaldrin's in list. Here you go. Here's a fresh list for you. This is Vanguard Onslaught for one of my 1,000 point tournaments. Yeah, Jaldrin's like their meta has a whole bunch of 1,000 point tournaments, which is kind of cool. Awesome, Sirloin. Yeah, thanks, man. We have Death Leaper, Broodlord, Raveners, Hyperadaptive Raveners, and a Winged Hive Tyrant with Chameleonic. Biovore, double Gene Stealers, and a Lictor. This is 1,000 points. Okay, so the only thing is I would... All right, so Jodron, this is very quick. I think what you should do... I think it's good, but if you go, like, drop Winged Hive Tyrant, check it out, and then get a second Lictor, and then get Raveners. If you have them, right? And that's like perfectly your points. Boom. I think that's kind of good, right? Because you get 2 more units, and then your Raveners can pair with the Hyper Adapter that they want, but then they also don't have to. Also, another tech, if you are in Vanguard Onslaught, make Death Leaper your Warlord, because if you're playing against Knights and they really want to kill your Warlord, you just hide him somewhere and they can't activate into him for the entire game. Seems good, right? But yeah, this seems great. And 1,000 points, I don't think you need a whole bunch of like gargoyles or anything, especially if you have the Lictors and the Raveners and the Gene Stealers that can swarm the board or do actions. So yeah, cool stuff. Hey, Jodron, good luck on your tournament, man. I hope it's a good one. Cruising right along. Sorry, the lists have been good. I know I said that I don't have a quite time crunch, but like a semi-time crunch. But there hasn't been a whole lot of issues with these lists. You guys have been doing great. This is awesome. Nathan Ostby, I think that's how you pronounce / spell your name. Hey, mate, wanted to submit a 3,000 point that I'm going to be running against Dark Angels in a few weeks. The only units I'm unwilling to move off them, very off meta, are the Hermit Crab, Carnifex Crew, and Old One Eye. Sweet. I've got a lot of other models pulled from too, with notable exceptions being a Harspec Screamer, Killer, Hive Tyrant Guard, or any Worms. Would love to know your thoughts. Okay, sweet. So this is 3,000 points. So this is kind of, we got to think a little bit differently than what we normally think about. Broodlord, Alien Cunning, Hive Tyrant, Nero Tyrant, Old One Eye, 2 Gargoyles, 2 Hormagaunts. That seems probably appropriate for 3,000 points. Biovore. And then just melee Carnifex is sweet. If you haven't, I know you probably like them just because they're cool and punchy. The DAC effects in Invasion Fleet are very, very good. And they're easy to stretch out into the Hive Tyrant, so they always get that assault buff in case you need to advance them. Triple Exocrine, Gene Stealers, Lictor, 1 Assimilator, double Norn Emissary, Tyranid Warriors, Bioweapons, and a Tyrannifex. Yeah, maybe Owen. So did we have a Winged Tyranid Prime? Okay, so, hey, check it out. Look, you've got a whole bunch of beef on the table. I think the Tyranid Warriors should just get a Tyranid Prime, right? And that's 65 points. You just cut 1 Hormagaunt squad, and then you just sub that in for a Tyranid Prime, because I believe it's just 65 points. Then you have another kind of like evasive, good rapid ingress threat. The Emissary, I mean, you could think about cutting the Assimilator to just get more stuff. But I mean, if you're playing 3,000 points, you want like an epic battle, you know? So maybe if you did like, I was thinking if you can get like a Maliceptor and something. Like a Maliceptor to go with these Norns seems very good. So that'd be 105 points. Oh, you're in an Invasion Fleet? Oh, no, you already have a Neurotyrant. Okay. Oh, so we have Alien Cunning, so that's 30 points. So this would be, if we dropped this would be 105. All right, so hear me out. And if you want to have an epic battle with a huge Norn Assimilator, no argument, man. But if you did a Maliceptor, which is 170 points, and then dropped Alien Cunning off of this, right? Did I already do it? No. That's 30 points, I think. And that's 105. No, that's 305. And then put like a Screamer Killer in, man. Right? I think that would be sweet. Could be cool. Yeah, if you could take like pictures of your 3,000 point game, that would be awesome. And post it in the Discord. That's like one of my favorite things to do. I love seeing just like pictures and like walkthroughs of battle reports and stuff. We should create a channel in the Discord with just that. That would be great. Yeah, but cool stuff, man. I hope your 3,000 point game is sweet. Maybe. I mean, I think the assimilator is just cool on its own, Nathan, without you needing to get anything. But it was just my idea. Or maybe were you talking about the Tyranid Prime? Old One Eye is a converted Norn. Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome. All right. I believe... Oh, we got 2 more lists. Sweet. Thank you, man. Joel. Hi, so I have a bunch of Gaunts and really enjoy the Horde playstyle. Is this too many Gaunts? Thinking about taking this to a GT. Miss my Unending Swarm. Man. Okay, so if you're thinking about taking, like, Swarm Heavy to a GT, I would highly recommend that you play your games on a chess clock. Even if it's a friendly game, play it on a chess clock. Make sure you can play the game and to completion so that, you know, your opponent isn't being cheated out of time, and so that makes sure that you're using all of your time correctly. Because it's tough. I mean, like, let's look at this. It's a very cool archetype. It's not my favorite archetype, but I do think it's very cool. This is 120 bodies just in your Gaunts. It's crazy. But let's take a look at the list. We've got a Hive Tyrant, no Adaptive Biology, Neurotyrant, and Tervagon. Okay, Gargoyles. So 2 10-mans, 2 10-man Gargoyles, 2 10-man Hormagaunts, then 80 Termagants. Sheesh. A Biovore, Lictor, Venomthropes, and then 12 Zoanthropes. Okay. If I were to play, I would play something close to this. Maybe just 1 6-man Zoanthrope squad, but they do kind of just do everything. Maybe you like reserve 1 Zoanthrope squad and the other one is on the table. You stretch out so that all of these Termagants are in reserves. And with the Venomthropes too. Also consider like reserving a 20-man squad of Termagants. You know what I also think would be cool? So if you cut a 120-point Termagant squad, upgrade 1 of these Hormagant squads to a 20-man. Just hear me out, you know? And then, like, do Barb Gaunts. Just to kind of hope to control the board a little bit. That could be good. That could be cool. So, yeah. I would play this. You got to get reps in and making sure, like, your time management. Honestly, if you have a table at home or even on TTS, practice deploying, practice moving, and on a clock, you know. Have a set game plan before you even start the game so you know this squad is going here, this squad is going there, I'm doing this. This is what this Termagant blob is supposed to be doing. In addition, like, absolutely, Joel. Yep. And I would try maybe Spine Fist on the Termagants so that they can get just stuck in and then just shoot into combat. I think the Spine Fists are probably the way to go over the Devourer. But the Devourer is very cool. It's a lot of shots. But thanks again, Joel, for submitting your list and becoming a member. Really, really appreciate the support. Chance, the queue is looking actually kind of light. I think there's about 22 or 3 lists total. So if you submitted yours today, 3 weeks, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. Alex G. Hey, Jordan. Finally got the second Norn you recommended. What do you think about this list? Awesome. I was Crusher Stampede. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, I love... Check it out. When I'm reviewing a Crusher Stampede list and I see one character and no battle line units. That's when I know the list is going to slap, because there's just, we just mean business. We got a Biovore, 1 Exocrine. I probably would want at least 2, but let's take a look at the rest of the list. A Harspex, Lictor, Maliceptor, Norn Emissary, Psychophage, T-Fex. And I think these are supposed to be Rupture Cannons. Okay. I'm hoping. No Flesh Borer Hives, please. I do that all the time, though. I'll be like, hey, guys, look at this list. I'll show one of my buddies, and it's like Flesh Borer Hives, but I just forgot to change it. Okay. I mean, yeah, it seems sweet. I think we definitely need to find a way to upgrade this Exocrine, though. 195 points. So the Psychophage is something that I think we look at. If we delete that and we upgrade this Higher Specs to an Exocrine, that means I think we should have 95 points left over. Yes, Rupture Cannons. 95 points left over. So I think you do just kind of need like at least 1 screening unit, right? And so like if we want a little bit more bang for our buck, we could do is 95. So we could do Von Ryan's to infiltrate and screen. That seems okay. That seems fine. Or you can do, and then with the other 25 points, you do Rippers in case you just get like Display of Might is good for Rippers now. Engage in all fronts is always good for Rippers behind enemy lines if you can get a sneaky place. The other thing is you could do like Hormagaunts. No, I think I like the Von Ryan Leapers play. I think that seems fun. Let me know how the double Norn is treating you, man. Seems fun. But that's what I would do. I think the Psychophage, like the plus to AP is okay. But I don't know. I think I'd rather have a second Exocrine and then like two Action Monkeys, 2 like scoring units to do that with. But yeah. All right. This Wednesday, couple of things. I'm going to show just a little bit. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Consider subscribing. We're getting close to 9,000. It's unbelievable. I love that. That's incredible. But check out Secondhand Geek. They have great stuff on there. Click our affiliate link if you're interested in selling some stuff on their platform or just picking up some cool gargoyles or something. This Wednesday, I'll be playing with our good friend Kyle. He's playing Tau. It's going to be weird. We have Tau on back-to-back weeks, but different kinds of stream. It's going to be in real life. On the tabletop, I'm going to be playing Vanguard Onslaught. I'm going to be playing like kind of a no goofing around Vanguard Onslaught, just business, just sharp claws, getting into people. It's going to be a great time. So check it out. Wednesday, we might be doing beans. I don't know what we're doing. It's going to be terrible, whatever we're doing. But thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate all the memberships today. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you Wednesday. Bye, everybody.